Hey everybody, you're back with Joey Ciccone here at WCOBM.com, live in Las Vegas. I'm with Michael Dowd. Mikey, so basically what happens with the $700? We're doing a pickup from our last segment.
Yeah, well, so the guy shorts me the $700, and then I actually plant police cars 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in front of his store to knock his business down. And he gets all upset, he gets pissed off, and he sends a message to Barron. He's putting a hit out on me.
Okay.
So now I got a guy, a drug dealer, who I was paying me, and because he shorted me and I put pressure on him to get the VIG paid up, I end up putting pressure on him, and now he puts a hit on me. So I went to work that day and found him the same day. I had never met this guy or seen this guy in my life, and I found him that day, pulled him over, told him, let's do a Mexican standoff right now.
Exactly.
And he shit a pickle and sent the money to Barron about an
bottom
hour.
Line is
an hour later, he sent the money
bottom
to
line,
Barron.
the hit was taken off, and you got your $700.
Correct.
It was that simple,
So,
right?
but now we're out of business. We're done. We're not going to do business with each other anymore. You do your business, I'll do my business. You sell your drugs, I'll do my police work.
Gabish, and you're going on to bigger and, well, I don't want to say bigger and better things, but bigger things. Were you feeling untouchable? Were you breaking every law you gave an oath to protect and serve?
I mean, I don't know about that. I mean,
These are beautiful questions.
I served the public. I mean, it's almost like a slapstick way of saying things. I did my job unless you were a drug dealer. I mean, that makes sense.
But you did both jobs.
Look, I was a corrupt rogue cop, but if you were injured or sick or needed police assistance for legitimate reasons, you know, I would legitimately help you and be loving and caring like a human being would be to another. But if you were a drug dealer, you're in the game, I wasn't going to treat you like a regular civilian. Sorry. I don't know if that answers the question.
Well, with all due respect, you were working both sides.
Yeah, I agree to that. That's why they call me rogue.
Thank you. I like that. Yeah, I got that.
I mean, I'm not proud. My mother certainly still is not happy over this.
Well, we hope she's,
she's alive and well.
God bless her. Did you have that I'm God feeling?
Well, if you watch the documentary, you hear me say it.
I did.
I felt like listen, you feel like you're God. You feel like untouchable. I mean, here I am, outwardly, openly committing these acts of corruption. The police department's aware of it, and I can't believe I'm not being stopped.
That's what really caught me. I can't believe nothing's being stopped, but I don't want to give away the conclusion that possibly, well, I'm going to say it anyway, possibly maybe you were being watched all that time.
Well, I was in varying degrees. I was being followed by one individual off duty. His whole career he wasted on me, and he still got nothing out of it.
Did you know it?
Yeah, I used to chase him out of bars and locations that I would hang out in.
All right, so now I want to have Mr. Enter Adam Diaz. There's no turning back. Bigger organization. We're talking Colombian?
No. He was Dominican, but he was well connected with his supply was coming directly from the Colombian cartels, and he would get 1,500 kilos a month dropped off at his locations, which I was not privy to. In all honesty, I wasn't aware that his organization was that big. I just knew that he was doing a large volume in the areas that I was working.
Right.
And I became fast associates with him because Barron, the music business, the car business, the big systems. He had a big system put into his vehicle, his porch. As he calls it, porch. He calls it the porch. And
I only like, what kind of music I only like?
Julio Iglesias.
Julio Iglesias. And Brian Adams.
Brian Adams, yeah. He don't like the black music. But I can play black music.
You can play the black music in there. It's beautiful.
I like that.
But,
this is we're laughing because of what is being said in the documentary.
Please, that's why.
Yeah. We're not picking sides here on any way, shape, or form.
We're not.
I love everybody.
We love everyone.
That's documented, by the way.
Let's get it documented
very
right
well.
now on the Joey Ciccone Show.
Yeah.
We love all kinds.
Every kind. You can believe that. Check my Twitter.
All right, move on. Go ahead.
So Diaz and I and Kenny and Barron form this relationship where we're going to provide information. If there's a bust going down in his area, we'll tip him off, i.e., get rid of your stuff, and no cop is to be ever endangered or hurt during any of his business interactions with the police. So what I was trying to do was prevent him from being caught, which I happened to do clearly one time, which was invaluable to him. He had I don't know. I didn't know, but he had probably 20 kilos and $500,000 in cash.
Yeah.
In the spot, and I prevented them from getting it at least one time, and then a second time as well. So I think I earned my keep with him at that point.
Yeah, and I
He was
like
only
to-
giving me $8,000 a week.
Yeah, only 8,000 in the 80s when you're making about around $600 a week
Every
as an
2 weeks, no,
officer.
2 weeks.
Oh, every 2 weeks you make 600?
Clear, yeah.
Make it so three, maybe
Yeah,
three.
so we did pretty
and
good.
you're putting your.
Yeah,
well,
the
you
we
did all right.
pretty good.
Eight G's
We
is
split
pretty
it though.
good.
We split it though.
The bottom line is you saved him some big time money. By the
and
way,
arrests and
arrests
and convictions and whatever else. Yeah,
and
at the time.
and I want to just tell you, as you know,
As a paisan, what?
as a paisan,
You grew up around some of this stuff a little bit.
I've been
maybe.
around a lot of things. Let's just put it that way. But let me just tell you, the temptation of the money, the coke, the guns, whatever else, 20,000 to 25,000 bags of cash. Now you're working for Adam Diaz. Did you ever stop to think this has to end somewhere?
That's a tough.
It's a good.
It's a tough.
Is it a good question?
Well, I mean,
These are journalist questions, sir.
this has to end. I think if I had thought, I wouldn't have taken the first step to get into it. Right?
You wouldn't have did 10 years either. But anyway.
10. Who
yeah.
did 10 years?
I thought you did 10.
I was sentenced to 14. You do 12/5 on 14. I
Okay,
did every
good.
day of that. So.
All right. Thank God I never was been
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
but
You
we can get in
can't.
there.
When you do 12 or 10, is a big difference. Those last 2 years they add on. You know, I'm only doing 10. No, 12/5. You know,
Oh, really? Is that what it was?
yeah, 12 years, 5 months, 23 days, something like that.
All right. Whatever. Okay. All right.
Don't ever say 10 to a guy who did 12. It's not fair.
All right. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Yeah, let me take it easy. Hey, if
You're in Vegas.
how many did you kill?
How many years did you do?
I did a 14-year federal prison sentence. I did 12 years, 5 months, and 20-something days on it. I think 23. I can't remember if they let me out a day or two in the halfway house.
All right. Okay. Paranoia setting in. I mean, during this
Now?
time. Not now.
Oh, okay.
Then. Paranoia
No.
setting in.
No, I
What's
think
happening
more
now?
of it. More of it is I'm becoming hyper aware of what's going on because I feel it. I feel the pressure coming. Every time I turn around, I see 4 or 5 or 6 more cars following me, and I can't believe that this is actually happening. And I just couldn't extricate myself from what was going on. The deals were getting bigger and deeper. Diaz organization is now out of the picture. I've been stopped being paid by them. I've now created my own organization where I'm actually purchasing the cocaine and never touching it, but putting the money forward in East New York to own my own piece of someone's ongoing business.
Okay. We got to stop there a minute because we got to talk honest. Now, you're saying you're not touching it.
Well, I'm doing my own.
You're doing your own. You're touching it. You're doing your own.
Yeah, but that's not the question. I'm involved in a business where I'm giving money to somebody to buy. Every time he buys 5 kilos, he buys 1 for me.
Okay. All right.
So I'm invested. It's like a real estate investment.
But you're doing drugs.
Yeah, I'm bumping along the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get that.
I mean, how the hell you drive home at 4:30 in the morning with 15 vodkas in you?
I don't know, man.
Have you tried it?
No, I've never tried
Okay,
that.
good.
That would be a whole thing.
Well, you need do a few bumps to get home.
Hang on. Well, let me just have a little sip right now.
Sip or
Take it easy, will you? Folks,
I'm
you're
trying
on
to
the
be
Joey
honest.
Ciccone show.
I'm trying to be
I'm with
honest.
Michael
You wanna
Dowd.
lie?
Could you imagine riding with him in the 80s?
We had a good time.
Wow.
We had a good day. Most days were good.
All right,
Till you get
okay.
pinched. Till you get pinched.
That's when it all ends. It happens in the circle of the wise guy, and it happens in situations like that. All right, I'm going to say this. So you were a drug dealer, a drug user, a cop.
Thank you.
I'm talking as a journalist. I'm talking as a host. All right, a cop, but an officer was down at one time. And did your feelings change? But I guess what I'm trying to say is, an officer was killed. Can we touch on that?
Well, I mean, this is not a date. I mean,
I understand that.
This is we're trying to have a little light banter about a movie and the '80s, and now you're bringing, of course, part of that movie was an officer was killed as a result of one of the drug dens that was not under my protection or awareness. However, some might dispute that because all drugs are interconnected, and it was East New York, and an officer was killed.
Right.
And
it's touching, and it's painful, and it's hurtful.
He was a transit officer. I don't want to say his name on the show right now.
No.
But we watch the documentary. You'll get more of the
Okay,
detail.
all right.
You'll see the emotion that comes from this.
Right.
And it's taken this interview down a notch by bringing it up, and it is what it is. You know, it was very moving, very touching, and I happened to be the first car on the scene to help try to save the officer's life, and it was very, very. It was a sad day for anybody.
Of course it is. Anytime that happens.
Well, in more particular in my case, because here I'm like saving drug dealers at one end and arresting them, chasing them at the other, and so it was a moment of what the hell am I doing?
Okay, fair enough. What is Mike Dowd doing today? But before we close this segment, we're going to come back with a final segment. But right now, what's happening
right now,
Mike?
I'm doing speaking engagements.
As a positive.
I'm doing speaking engagements at universities, at criminal justice departments and colleges around the country. I'm involved in speaking at law enforcement associations. I'm doing some positive things that way. I'm involved in a cigar line, which I started so I can actually get paid.
That's what we need. We need
to
to lighten it up
day.
And talk about
So I do a lot of. I actually work with the NYPD. I helped them create 2 films for internal affairs divisions so they can help unroot guys like me or with my characteristics, or how to monitor them and stop them early on. And I'm hoping that they'll bring me into live speak to guys. So ongoingly working to improve the situation with policing and anti-corruption situations.
Sure, and I think it's a beautiful thing.
Treatment.
Like now that you're able to give back and give all this information back to the public and help them maybe not to make those mistakes.
Yes, and it was a different era then, but still, I'm a little concerned today about what's going on because I can see with what's happening that this can actually turn. Like the cops can actually start to take a little bit of revenge here, and I can see the cycle of that's how some of the things that we got involved in the 80s, we began to become revengeful and take revenge by doing some of the acts of corruption. And I can see that there could be a potential for that right now with the climate.
Well, I do want to touch on that, and I just want to tell you, we're going to be leaving this segment in a few seconds, but I just want to touch on that be vigilant out there, and we hope that this doesn't escalate into just an all-out, very, very bad situation. We've had enough go on this week. I'm so happy to have Michael here. We're going to be back on the Joey Ciccone Show Connected. You can chat in, hit that button and chat in and ask us some questions if you want. We're going to talk about a cigar line, some fun things, have some final laughs. We'll catch you right after this commercial.